Hi guys, it's Olga Heldwein here, and today I have very special video. Today I'm collaborating with Vicki Papayano. She's a really talented Greek crafter. You have to check out her channel and subscribe to her. She's making amazing cards and mixed media projects, really fun and playful journals. She's really amazing artist, and she's also a really cool person because we actually met and we hang out a little bit. So yeah, she's also really fun and cheerful, friendly person. So we decided to collab today, and we are featuring AALL Create stamps. And at the end of video, you will find info as well as in the description box and on my blog how you can win one of those two amazing prizes. So for one of you, this set, it's one border stamp designed by Pasha for AALL Create, one stamp set designed by Casa, also for AALL Create, and two of my designs. One is the monsters, second one are dragons, and you can find some inspirations how to use them in this video. And for Vicki, she will also pick one winner from everyone who will participate in giveaway, and her winner will receive amazing border by Casa. Those are really big stamps. And 3 sets of stamps as well. One is designed by Casa, and 2 of them are designed by me.
Okay, so let's jump straight into the video, and in the description box I will put timing for every card because it's a long video and maybe you are interested only in one. So we will start with dragon card. I'm using cold press watercolor paper as my base, and I'm stamping my dragon with a soft distress grayish ink because I want him to disappear. Just stamp for reference. I will pop cutout image on top of it, and I'm stamping and masking my balloons as I go. I'm making my own masking paper by putting a little bit of Nouveau two-way glue on some of regular printing paper, and then I just stick it on my image. I'm stamping a bunch of balloons and I'm masking them all because I want to make a little bit of ink blending on top. I'm also dividing my card on 2 parts because I want my dragon to have some ground to sit on. And for my ink blending, I'm using Distress Oxides in colors Seedless Preserved and Warm Lipstick. It's my favorite combination. Of course, my sticky tape wasn't sticky enough, so I decided to replace it with washi tape, and it was a horrible mistake. It was too sticky and it rubbed my paper. But I have a solution for boo-boos like this. It will not make it totally disappear, but it's barely visible. I'm putting a dot of glue in my wrap, and then with bone folder or something flat, I just flatten it down. I leave it for a dry for a while. In the meantime, you can remove your masks. And then I'm putting another tiny dot of glue, and I'm smoothing everything out with a scrap of paper, and you will not say that something happened over there. So we use Distress Oxides, and I really like how they look when you drop them with water. So I made some droplets and I blot off the excess with paper towel. For coloring, I cut off most of it and speed up all the rest because this video is long enough without it, but I really wanted to be special, and I really wanted to show you some of cool techniques. So to color my balloons, I'm using my alcohol markers, and I'm not using only Copics. I also use not so expensive markers, the cheap ones. But then you have to invest in your paper because they will not work on the cheap paper. You have to have some pricey Copic paper or really good quality watercolor paper. And alcohol markers look amazing on watercolor paper. They just eat up your marker. So to add some shading, I'm using my polychromos pencils, but you can use any kind of pencils that you have at home. All of them will work similar. I'm trimming out a little bit my card because I thought that it's a little bit of the proportions, and I'm drawing in all the stuff that I want to have in my background. Because I went over my stamping with distress ink, so it made my strings a little bit dull, and I drew a little bit ground for my grumpy dragon. Then I'm popping off some extra balloons. I colored them in the same time when I was coloring my background. You could see the scrap of paper on my side. And I'm popping them with 3D foam to make them more dimensional. I love the dimension in my cards. And to make my balloons look like they are shiny, I added a little bit of white gel pen here and there. So I added also a little bit of shading under my dragon with different crayons in the shades similar to my background. And I'm just placing my grumpy guy with distance foam directly on top of stamping that I did. So even if some of it would be visible after all ink blending, you can cover it up with the top layer. I have to add a black stroke. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have to stroke everything. If there is no stroke, I feel like it's not finished. So black stroke is must have. And I'm adding my sentiments from translucent 30-knot stickers. I was going for a birthday card, so I added Happy Cake Day, and under this dragon it says birthday calories do not count. And I strongly believe in this sentence. And yeah, my first card is finished. Let's go to the second one. So second one is also a lot of masking and stamping. I wanted to make as interactive cards as I could. So I'm stamping a bunch of gifts from different AALL Create stamp sets, and then I'm stamping balloons. You can see that I have prepared my masks in advance because I want my balloons to overlap each other. And I make few mistakes in this card, and if I would redo it, I would do it totally different way. So when I have all my masks on, I should make some ink blending because it will be missing, and I will have to fill it with my crayon when I will color in all the balloons. And of course, I didn't learn anything from previous experience, so I wrapped my paper again. And my card was folded on half because it will be pop-up, and I will cut out my pop-up construction from it. So you have to use folded card. And for my balloons, I went really simple. They are colored with one color of alcohol marker and shaded with crayons. And I also added crayon shading in the background just to have something over there, because white one it just didn't look good. So to blend my crayons a little bit better with my background, because crayons will always leave crayon marks on your paper, and I don't like them, so I'm blending them out with white crayon and then rubbing them gently with my eraser, and it makes them a little bit smoother. So then I'm planning where I will put my guys, and I'm drawing on the back side 2 lines that I have to cut to make them, stand out in my cut. I'm making small incisions to create 2 flaps, and you have to bend them on the other side and nicely fold to make sure that you have nice construction to make your animals actually stand out. I'm checking out if everything is working for me, and I measure it up. So my fold flap is the same height as my animal. And first I'm popping my raccoon on, and then my elephant. And I think that they look so cool. Yeah, I'm checking again if everything folding nicely. And then I'm adding panda guy with a distance foam. So what have I done not so good in this card is I should use a better quality paper, because I use just a cheap cardstock. That means I had to struggle with, sticking this pop-up panel onto my card base. So I would strongly recommend using a little bit better quality cardstock here. For your inside. So I'm adding a little bit of double-sided adhesive, and I'm really careful not to cover those holes. They have to be not stuck to anything to whole construction to work. And then I'm sticking it into my card base. And if you decide to make something similar to this one, remember that this step have to be made on flat. Instead of flapping my base on my panel, I should put my panel on the flat base. Then it will open and close more easily and better, and I think that I will just remake this card in the future. But anyway, it works. They stand up in this card, as you can see. When you open, they are making like surprise. So because I focused so much on my inside, my outside will be really clean and simple. I just blend a little bit of oxide ink, and yeah, I'm totally obsessed about oxides, and I'm using them all the time. So here I'm just brushing some peacock feathers, and for my ink blending I usually use some kind of brushes. I use either cheap makeup brushes. In Europe you can buy them in Primark. In States probably Ulta or 24/7 have some really cheap brushes, and I love paddle brush. I will use it later on in monster cards, so you can see how nice it blending everything. I'm checking a few times if the guys stand up properly, and if all my mechanism is working. Then I'm adding a few droplets of Nuvo drops, and this one is finished as well. Now we will have some fun with monsters, and those 2 cards, I think they are my favorite from whole the bunch. From some of my oxides I created this nice rainbow, and I will go with sentiment stamp all over my card. I just stick it with the washi tape, and again you have to be really careful when you remove washi tape, because wrapping is really easy to do. And I'm going with my colors one by one, stamping my sentiment, and I do it by hand. It doesn't have to be perfect. The colors that I'm using are peacock feathers, then Southern Ocean, Wildwood Violet, Seedless Preserved. For orange I had Spiced Marmalade. For pink is Worn Lipstick, and the middle shade between orange and pink is Abandoned Coral, and the last one is Fossilized Amber. And those are my absolutely favorite colors from oxides, but I don't have new ones, so who knows, maybe there will be more favorite. So I speed up this this part because I'm actually doing the same thing, and how awesome would be if I could stamp so fast. Of the camera, I created second background. I use hat and the same method of stamping with oxides. I just stamp with my stamping platform to have double stamp each hat to make sure that I have nicely stamped image. So I still was missing something here in the background, so I'm using diluted oxides to make some splashes. And I didn't took all the colors, you can do it only with one. I just had them on my desk, so I took the ones that were handy, and all the excess I took off with a piece of paper. Nothing get wasted here. So to make the second card a little bit more attractive, I'm using 30 knots black splash ink, and I'm making black splashes. I leave everything to dry, and I'm adding black stroke to my stamped background. And to make my sentiments stand out, I decided that I will just stamp the same one, Monster Hacks, on the separate piece of paper with black archival ink. And I cut it out the narrow strip of paper. I added stroke because everything have to have stroke, yes. And then I used 3D foams to put it on another piece of cardstock that I placed directly on my base panel. And here I used monsters, and monsters are such a cool set. I think that 1 week from now, the video only about this set is coming because it's such a cool and interactive set. I'm seriously loving that. You have different monsters and you can stamp the face expressions that you like the most. You could see me taking a bunch of them. Yeah, I stamped a bunch of them at the card, and I really enjoy coloring, so when I need to chill or relax, I just color them in advance. So I picked the purple guy, and I decided that I want some sparkle here because, you know, glitter is everything. So I embossed the hat with the Nuvo sparkling embossing powder. I colored wings on blue, and I just popped the hat on the head of my monster. And to make my guy stand out a little bit on my card base, I used like a nest made from white thread. It doesn't cover the background, and it makes him stand out a little bit more. And then I'm adding my sentiment, and again, because I use a little bit cheaper cardstock, I have to place it on another part of cardstock to make it more sturdy. For the second guy, I wanted to have purple sparkly hat, so I'm using Seedless Preserved, and with black Versamark ink, I'm adding a little bit shading and embossing everything with Wow sparkling embossing powder. And this hat will go on top of this guy with mustache, and making mustache is really easy. They are part of the set, so you just stamp them before you stamp your face. So all your expression depends on monster eyes in this case. So this guy didn't get fret under him, and I stamped my sentiment directly on the card base, on the card panel, and I should just stamp it and make it like with previous one with black stroke on white cardstock. But when I realized it was too late, and it's still my favorite card. In real life, the sentiments stand out enough to be readable. So yeah, only on video and photos it's hard to see it. So to finish both cards, I'm using Nuvo drops and a little bit of seconds that I'm sticking on my panels, and they are finished off. And for all my cards today, I made some insides because again, I wanted to make them really special. I really like those hats looking with the glitter embossing powder, and I think that I will use this technique a lot because you know the glitter is everything. So the last card for today, it will be really fun, cartoony looking card, and I'm making 2 panels because I want to have really nice inside and outside for my card. I'm using a paddle brush and salty ocean ink and my handmade stencil for the clouds. You can buy stencils like that, but unfortunately they are not so easy to get here in Europe, so I just cut out one myself. But if I will have a chance, I will buy my favorite things one for sure, because it have better shape with the clouds, and I think that it would work a little bit better. Then I sketched my ground and I went over it with the pen. And for my colors, I used Drevent Inktense crayons. They are like watercolor crayons. A little splash in the clouds to have this nice lifted droplet effect, and I diluted my crayons to have like watercolor in the background, but you can use anything in bright greenish cartoony color to make this project. It's really easy to make, and as I said, I have whole set of similar looking cards as my Valentine project on my channel. I will link it up in icon in the corner. So for the inside, I stamped 2 trees, and from one of it, I removed ink from half of the trunk because it's easy enough to draw it back in. For the trees, I choose coloring with crayons because on this cardstock, it will work the best. And for the ground, first I wanted to color it in with the crayons, but then I decided that ink will be better solution, and I used my only green ink. It's Colorbox ink. It works pretty well with for the blending. So some black strokes to finish it off, and for the sentiment I use 30 knot sticker that says "You are," and the stamp "Absolutely the Beast," and this cool guy with his tongue. I just adore him. So I fixed some details with my black pen, and with shimmery pen I colored in his wings later on. So to pop him on the base, I used a little bit of silver mirrored Tim Holtz cardstock, and then I placed him on the base, and yeah, that's the finished card.
The pop-up card. So outside is really clean and simple, and inside we have those party animals that stand up, and it looks so cool in real life, you know, they just standing and having a party over there. Then we have a dragon card, and I love this dragon. I love his face expression. So I finished up my card by popping the panel on the 3D foam on my card base, and I also finished off the inside of the card. I just add a sticker and a little bit ink blending, and I think that it will be amazing, mostly girly birthday card. Okay, so this guy is my favorite, okay? From all my designs that I have put out over there for Untitled Create, this guy seems to be my favorite, so I made 3 cards. One is really similar to my Valentine video, and you will find the link in the eye icon. So you saw me making all the card. I also made an inside, and I just add small sentiment best wishes over here, and all those inside sentiments are from 30 knot stickers. and I really like how it turned out. I don't know if you can see, but actually on his wings he have, yeah, you can see that I use the shimmery pen, so he's really shimmery, and I love his funky face expression. They have, both of them have nice shiny hats. This one says, "You are really absolutely the beast." And inside is really fun sentiment. You drink too much, you swear too much, you have questionable morals. You are everything I ever wanted in a friend. And it's a really cool friendship card. And it can be for boy or for girl, it doesn't matter. It's really universal card. And second one is with lot of monster hags, and this guy have black hat with silver glitter.
Okay, so let's talk about giveaway. What do you have to do to win? So first of all, you have to subscribe to my channel and to Vicki channel. And yes, we will check that out. And except that, you have to leave me a comment letting me know that you want to enter the giveaway. You can leave any kind of comment here under the video or on my blog post. The link will be in the video description. And that's all. I will randomly pick one winner, and all the timing and all the details about the giveaway will be in the description box as well. Yeah, so thank you so much for your attention. If you are still watching, please give me thumbs up because it was a lot of work to accomplish this video. I hope that it was fun and interesting. Have a nice and creative day and see you next time. Bye!